Hello Smashers and welcome to a brand new video. Now in today's episode I'm going to be talking about the deadly tax that could completely destroy your Amazon FBA business if you don't fully understand it. It's absolutely nothing to be embarrassed about. When I very first started my Amazon FBA journey, I wasn't aware of the things that I'm going to be talking about in this video either. And I'm so glad that I actually discovered what this tax was and what it meant for my business before it was too late. So before we get into it, please do remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And guys, if you've got any requests or comments or anything like that, if you'd like me to cover a certain topic in the future, do feel more than free to post it in the comment section below. Or of course, you can join me in the Amazon FBA Smashers group on Facebook. Post a thread on there and I'll be more than happy to think about it and put some ideas together. So let's get into the video. Now, first of all, let's discuss what the actual tax is. It will certainly, or hopefully certainly, be a tax that you've all heard of before, and the tax is VAT, value added tax. Now, for those of you that have heard of it, but you don't quite know what it is, VAT is an indirect tax, and it's a 20% tax charge that you will definitely have paid at some point, probably this week, maybe even today if you've bought something. Now, the reason that some people don't know about it is because it is charged on goods and services, and it's kind of baked into the price of something that you're buying. So let's just say, for example, you go to the shops and you buy a TV for £180, £200, that will have got VAT built in. Now, the rules in the UK are that anybody that is VAT registered has to charge it. So every time they make a sale, they need to make sure that they are charging their customer that 20% VAT. And the rule in the UK is that you have to register to become VAT registered if you have a turnover or revenue of more than £85,000 in the previous 12 months. Now, in terms of who has to pay VAT, well, the answer is everybody. Anytime that you buy something off somebody that is VAT registered, that means that they have to charge VAT to you and you have to pay it. And the only way that you can get that VAT back is if you yourself are VAT registered. So just to add a bit of context there, let's go through a quick example. Let's say that you go to the shops and you decide to buy a TV. The TV costs £180, and that to you is the end of the matter. You probably don't even think about it. You're just like, £180 for the TV, that's fine. But in reality, it is more than likely that the seller is VAT registered, which means that they have had to charge you that 20% VAT. Now, to you, the purchase price was £180, but in reality, that £180 includes £30 worth of VAT, with the remainder, the £150, being the actual net proceeds, the sale proceeds that actually goes to the business. In reality, what will happen is the £150 will go to the business, and then they'll technically owe the government, HMRC, the £30 worth of VAT. So that is how VAT effectively works. Now, you're probably thinking, well, so what, Jansen? Why is that deadly? Why does that matter? How does that play into Amazon FBA? Well, this is why. There's two reasons. Now, the first reason is that Amazon is VAT registered. Its turnover, its revenue is far higher than £85,000. So it has to charge you and I VAT on any services. Now, the thing that really trips you up, and that I didn't realize when I very first started doing my Amazon FBA product research, is that Amazon quotes all of its fees on a net basis. So let's just say, for example, you were buying a TV from Amazon in this example here. Instead of Amazon saying to you, it's £180, what they're doing is they're saying it's £150, which is very sneaky, because what they're doing is they're assuming that you can reclaim that VAT. But you'll remember from the beginning of the video, I said you can only reclaim VAT if you're VAT registered, which you're not going to be if it's a brand new business. So Here's just an example here. So I've gone onto the Amazon FBA fee calculator, and I'm assuming that I'm selling a product for £20, and you can see where I've just highlighted it in red. These are the fees. So Amazon's saying the fees are £3 referral fee and £2.8 FBA fee. Now, if you're doing your product research and you're not aware of this VAT, you might be thinking, okay, my fees are £5.08. I'm looking to make £3 or £4 profit per unit. Jobs are good in. However, once you realise that you need to factor in VAT, look at this. This is the actual fee that you will be charged. So instead of £5.08, you're going to be getting charged £6.10. That is a 20% increase on the actual fee that you're going to be charged versus what you were told initially. So that is really, really deadly, because imagine if you were doing all your calculations and you were like, okay, I'm going to be making £3 per unit, profit. I'm going to be doing quite well here, making £3,000. Well, once you actually factor in the fact that you need to pay this additional VAT on Amazon's fees, and then you factor in, like other smaller costs that you may have forgotten about, well, you might find yourself in a position where you're making a loss, or you're just like barely even breaking even. So it's not worthwhile. So that is something that's really important, guys, to make sure that you understand when you are doing your product research, that you remember to add the VAT on to the Amazon fees when you're looking at how much it's going to cost. Now, luckily for you guys, I have previously put together an Excel spreadsheet that does that all for you, and you can find that in the Amazon FBA Smashers group. So that is the first reason why it is deadly. Now, the second reason isn't actually as obvious, but it's something that has really impacted me, and it's something that you should definitely be wary of if you're planning on absolutely smashing it and growing to be a huge company that sells hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of inventory each and every year. So the second reason is to do with you yourself becoming VAT registered. Now, you'll remember earlier on I said as soon as your revenue hits more than £85,000 per year, that means that you are going to have to start charging VAT. You're going to have to register for it, and you are now going to have to charge your customers it. So what does this mean? Well, one thing that's actually quite good is the VAT that I was just talking about on the fees. Well, now you can actually reclaim that. So that's one good thing. However, the bad thing, so I'm just going to put it in context first to make it a bit easier for you guys to understand. Let's say that I am this seller here, the one in the red for the dog lead, and my sales price is £15.99, and I'm making an okay amount of profit, maybe like £3 or £4, whatever. But let's say now my sales go through the roof, and all of a sudden I need to register for VAT. So I've got two options. What I can do is I can either increase my price by 20%, or I'm just going to have to take the hit. I'm going to have to assume that my £15.99 price now includes VAT. Now, you guys might not know this, but Amazon customers are very price sensitive. Look at all the competitors here. So all the competitors are like £6.99, £5.99, yeah, just £9.99. What chances do you think that we've got that we can increase our £15.99 sale price by another 20% and still have good sales? The chances are probably quite low. So I would be willing to bet that when this seller became VAT registered, they weren't actually able to increase their price by 20%. I think they will have had to have taken the hit and now assume that their price includes that 20%. And I'm speaking from experience here, guys. It's exactly what happened to me. My first product was selling at £15 before I was VAT registered. And guess what I sell it for now? £15. And it's the same with my second product. There's not really much chance, unless you are a real price leader and you don't have much competition, there isn't really much chance that you're going to be able to increase your price by 20%. So let's just go through a quick example using this dog lead example here. So this is what my profit would have looked like before I was VAT registered. £15.99 sales price. And these are all real figures here, guys. I've actually calculated them for you. Amazon fees, £5.28. So that's the referral fee and the FBA fee. Landed stock costs, I was saying, was £8. That includes everything. So delivery, duty, taxes. Profit before VAT, profit before PPC, £2.71. So that's profit before advertising, and the profit margin there is 17%, which is quite low. So £2.71, let's just say, for example, we were selling 1,000 units a month. We're possibly making £2,700 profit a month. Not bad, you might think. Now, let's assume that our business is now turned over more than £85,000, and we now have to be VAT registered, and we are unable to increase our price. We have to keep it the same because customers are just not willing to be paying that extra amount of money. So £15.99 price, but what does that mean? Well, that means that £2.67 of that, which is the 20% VAT, that now is owed to HMRC, the government, the tax collectors, and our actual net sales proceeds is £13.33. So proceeds are lower in our pocket. Amazon fees, £4.40. So those are a bit lower than before because we can now reclaim back on the VAT. Our landed stock cost is slightly lower as well, £6.67, again, because we can reclaim on VAT that we've paid when importing. But guys, just ignore all that if that's confusing you. The main point that I'm trying to make here is look at that. Look what our profit margin is now. It's £2.26 a unit, 14% versus £2.71. So that means now instead of £2,700 a month, we're now making £2,200. And once you start factoring in things like pay-per-click advertising and other marketing costs and refund costs and storage costs, you will quickly find that that 14% margin will come down even more, and you will be at risk, a significant risk of either making a loss or just barely even breaking even, and it's just not worth your while. So the conclusion of that, first of all, is that VAT can be pretty deadly. You need to be aware of it, and you need to be aware of the fact that you are going to be expected to pay. You're going to have to pay VAT on Amazon's fees and pay-per-click advertising and things like that, which they don't tell you about. So make sure you're aware of that, and make sure you use my fees calculator in the Smashers group. And then secondly, make sure that you think about the future. Yes, you might be making a profit now, so you might be making this 17% profit, but as soon as you start to absolutely smash it and you start to really gain traction with your sales, which can happen very, very quickly, you're going to have to start charging VAT, and your profit margins are going to slim down. So what is the solution to that? Well, the solution is, do not go for products that are like high volume but low margin. Yes, you might think, oh great, this dog lead looks a really good product because the seller's selling, 1,000 units, 2,000 units with a profit margin of say 10%. But I promise you, as soon as you start factoring in that VAT, which will basically reduce your margins, and then you've put on top of that your pay-per-click advertising and like refund costs and all the other little hidden costs that you may have forgotten about, your profit margins are going to be paper thin, and you're going to be making like, maybe a couple of £100 profit a month, maybe even less, and it's just not worth your while. So my advice here, guys, is aim for a profit margin of at least 30%. The higher the better, obviously. With products these days, I'd say on average, it's the profit margin that you'll be getting is between 30 and 40, which is absolutely fine. Those are my profit margins, and I've done relatively okay given that I'm VAT registered and I pay for advertising and all things like that. So I would 100%, guys, say when you're doing your product research, don't go for a product that you think, yeah, it sells loads, but the profit margin is like 10%. Go for a product profit margin 30% or above, and you will be a happy camper. So hopefully you've learned something in this video, guys. Remember, VAT is very deadly, so make sure you understand it. That is it for this week. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, remember, if you want to put in a request or anything like that, all you need to do is put a comment in the comment section below. Otherwise, guys, I will see you next time.